The Prince Skyline. The Skyline wasn't built by Nissan. It was built by the Prince Motor Company, a small Japanese automaker founded by former aircraft engineers after World War II. The name Prince came from the Crown Prince of Japan's visit to the factory in 1952. In 1964, Prince entered the Skyline 2000 GT in the Japan Grand Prix against the Porsche 904. Nobody gave the Skyline a chance. The Prince engineers stretched the front of the car to fit a 2.0-liter inline-six from their larger Gloria sedan. It chased the Porsche around the track and finished second overall. In Japan, this was a national sensation. Shinichiro Sakurai, the chief engineer, became obsessed with making the Skyline faster. His vision would define the car for the next 4 decades. In 1966, Prince merged with Nissan. The Skyline name survived. The racing DNA was locked in. C10, the KAHOSUKA. This is where the GTR was born. In 1969, Nissan took the third-generation Skyline and created a performance version that would change Japanese motorsport forever. The engine was the S20, a 2.0-liter inline-six with dual overhead cams, 3 carburetors, and 160 horsepower. It was one of the most advanced production engines in the world at the time. The nickname Hakosuka comes from Hako, meaning box, and Suka, short for Skyline. On the track, the Hakosuka GTR was untouchable. It won 52 races before retiring from competition. No Japanese touring car had ever dominated like that. C110, the KENMERI. The nickname came from a famous Japanese ad campaign featuring a couple named Ken and Mary driving through the countryside. It was a marketing hit, but the car itself had terrible timing. The C110 used the same S20 engine from the Hakosuka. But the oil crisis hit that same year, and Japan introduced strict emissions regulations that killed high-performance engines overnight. Nissan only built 197 KENMERI GTRs before pulling the plug. That makes it the rarest GTR production ever made. The few that have appeared at auction have commanded astronomical sums. After the KENMERI, the GTR badge disappeared for 16 years. 16 years of silence before Godzilla woke up. The R30 Skyline. Nissan introduced here a turbocharged engine for the first time.
Terrific.
The RS Turbo, a 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, making 190 horsepower. But the R30 is famous for something far more insane, the Super Silhouette Racing Series. Nissan gave it a body kit that made it look like it came from another planet and entered it into one of the wildest racing series in Japanese history. The Super Silhouette R30 had flared fenders wider than most vans, a front splitter that scraped the ground, and a rear wing that blocked the rear window entirely. It produced around 570 horsepower from a heavily modified turbo engine. It is one of the most visually extreme race cars ever built. The performance Skyline was waking up. The turbo era had started, and Nissan was building something much bigger behind closed doors. The R32 Skyline. After 16 years of silence, the GTR was back, and it arrived with a statement that shook the automotive world. The engine was the RB26DETT, a 2.6-liter twin-turbocharged inline-six that Nissan officially rated at 276 horsepower. That number was a lie. Japanese manufacturers had a gentleman's agreement to cap power ratings at 276, and Nissan played along. The real output was closer to 320. But the RB26's secret wasn't the factory power. It was the construction. Cast iron block, forged internals, individual throttle bodies. The engine was massively overbuilt from the factory. Tuners later discovered the stock bottom end could handle up to 1,000 horsepower with upgraded turbos. The Atessa all-wheel drive system could send power to all 4 wheels. The Super Hiace gave it 4-wheel steering. No production car had ever combined these technologies. Nissan entered the GTR in the Australian Touring Car Championship in 1991.
This year, Nissan broke the Ford Holden stranglehold by winning the 1990 Australian Touring Car Championship. And the bad news for Nissan's opponents is that it's come up with a new car, the GTR, which is described as probably the world's most advanced touring car.
It destroyed the field so thoroughly that the Australians nicknamed it Godzilla. The R34 Skyline GTR. the most iconic Japanese performance car ever made. And for many, it's the best Japanese car. The RB26 returned for its final chapter. Same 2.6-liter twin-turbo inline-six and the same 276 horsepower fiction. The R34's version was the most refined iteration of the engine, with improved turbo response, better cooling, and a more sophisticated engine management system. The technology was years ahead. The R34 V-Spec had a multi-function display on the dashboard that showed boost pressure, oil temperature, and G-forces in real time. Paul Walker drove a midnight purple R34 in the movie Too Fast, Too Furious. That single movie appearance cemented the R34 as a global icon. The production ended in 2002. The next GTR would drop the Skyline name entirely. The R34 was the end of a bloodline that started with the KAHOSUKA in 1969. Skyline history ended with a car so perfect that nobody has ever stopped wanting one. The R35 GTR. Technically, this isn't a Skyline. In 2007, Nissan separated the GTR from the Skyline name entirely and launched it as a standalone model. The chief engineer was Kazutoshi Mizuno, and his goal was simple: build a car that could embarrass supercars costing 3 times as much. The engine was the VR38, a 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged V6, making 480 horsepower at launch. Not an inline-six for the first time. Each engine was hand-assembled by a single technician in a clean room, and their nameplate was bolted to every block. Nissan called these builders Takumi, master craftsmen. When the R35 launched, it ran the Nürburgring in 7 minutes and 29 seconds. That was faster than the Porsche 911 Turbo, the Ferrari F430, and the Lamborghini Gallardo. It cost a third of what they did. Over the years, Nissan continuously updated the R35. By 2024, the Nismo version makes 600 horsepower and still uses the same VR38 platform. The car has been in production for over 17 years, making it one of the longest-running performance car platforms in modern history. The GTR badge that started on a sedan ended as a supercar. That's the most complete evolution story in automotive history.